Okay, hello folks, breathers. I thought I'd just send a few bonus videos to try to both clarify and remind you about the ways to increase the lung capacity. So hopefully you've at least got the option of the breathing, 5 to 6 seconds for the in-breath, 5 to 6 seconds for the out-breath, but you're either counting it for yourself or you're using the Paced app as a way of identifying a time and using the app to support you in that 3-minute practice. What we did in the session was we did a number of movements initially where we lay over the ball, but mainly in the belly, in the sides, and in the back to try and work on the diaphragm release. So many of you, not all of you, but many of you do quite active exercise. So that will be releasing the diaphragm through that activity. But the difference that we're doing is we're doing it without creating that more cardio anaerobic response. We're keeping it calm while allowing the diaphragm to find space, and we're keeping the breath quiet or controlled or deepening the breath. So that's a different process for the body than kind of running fast or cycling up the hill or swimming hard or whatever we might do, a sport we might do that gets the heart and the lungs going and kind of lets the diaphragm expand. So many of us will know what it feels like, but we'll know what it feels like when we're putting our body under pressure. So these are without that pressure. So everybody can do it and we can achieve that. So it becomes more of something we can access through our daily activities and increase the amount of time that we might be able to have that more larger lung capacity. Okay, so I'm assuming you haven't got a ball, the muscle release ball. If you did, I think that's a little easier to get the response and to be the softest way to allow that deeper breath to come and that diaphragm to move so that we can kind of ground ourselves. So I've got the softest blanket I could find. So a towel would do, but a soft blanket's really good. It's easier to see through from this side. So we're going to do I was going to remind you of the positions or what might be easier with a blanket to get into a position where we may have not found it as easy with the ball. So I'm coming into Sphinx position. So I've got my elbows broadly below my shoulders. I'm trying not to collapse. That's me collapsing. And that's me giving a little bit, just enough tone so that I'm not falling over and restricting the breath. So we need to be able to get a little bit of expansion there, but it's really subtle. It's like only 2 or 3 at the most out of 10 effort-wise. And then we're breathing. So the 2 ways that I would use to try and extend and deepen the breath would be to create the who out breath through the lips, which will calm the nervous system and extend the out breath, which will also support the lengthening of the in breath. Otherwise, I'd use a Ujjayi breath, which is that slight restriction on the throat that creates a sound like the sea in the throat. Now, I'm kind of very familiar with that. If you're not, it's better to do the who breath, the extended pursed lips version. So I'll do that with you for a few moments. Steadying myself and relaxing my shoulders. And then I'm going to start the who breath to extend. So for the in-breath, I'm taking that just through the nostrils. So when we do the out-breath, we'll feel the diaphragm probably tighten. And on the in-breath, we'll feel a softening and around the belly and around the upper belly, around the diaphragm. So it feels like an expansion. So about 3 more who breaths. So just that reminder. So it's really on the base of the rib cage here. So you will feel it on most of the support for this position here. I'm trying to keep, again, not everybody can manage to keep the toes and the tops of the feet down on the ground. If you need to, you can tuck the toes under, but it'd be even nicer if you have a spare blanket or towel just to put those so it's much softer. Let's do it that way. Okay. It's different top tip there. Nothing to do with the breathing. Okay, so we're moving into side body. So we sort of need to reposition this. It's going to lose its supportiveness. So we'll keep this simple. I want to make it as simple as possible so that you're more likely to remember it. So I've got my knees together, my knees are bent, yeah, so I'm just bending them and maybe a 45-degree angle. It's generally what feels okay and comfortable. This time I'll put it under the waist, which is what we did in the class. It's actually on the, again, on the base of the ribs there. And yeah, just have to find the right position for your arm. That's quite comfortable for me. But if you need to come a little bit higher, then you just need to find the position that you can cope with for your shoulder. So it's the same for each of these positions. So you just kind of try and soften into it and feel a bit of a response from the breath. So a little bit of expansion on the in-breath. Feel like a lift and a resting down on the out-breath. So for here, we can continue with the who breath to help us here. And come out of that. So you could definitely stay longer than that, and as you could on the first positioning for the Sphinx position. But just to keep tension away from shoulders and elbows, I'm keeping it to a shorter period than I would normally do if I was doing it for myself. Okay. So between times, we're just going to take a break. That's the eye between each of the side support, and just see how things are going here. So keeping the breath through the nostrils now if you can. You can take your hands to the side ribs. So you're looking for any changes, either both sides, one side, and you're trying to maintain that kind of fairly restful breath here. If you need a little bit of support for the head, then again, you need another towel or blanket underneath the head here. So we're going to go into the second side. So once you've got into a comfortable position, yeah, just underneath the rib cage, obviously this is quite a big uh, blanket, so it covers a larger space than the ball would be that we used in the class. So starting the who breath when that feels, when you feel ready for that. So So just noticing the breath this time, without the hands being on the body. Okay. So coming to your side to reorganize your blanket if you need to. So often between times, it will start to unravel. So the final one is for underneath the back. So again, it's broadly the base of your rib cage, but it will come into your shoulder blades if it's a bigger blanket like mine. To support the neck, I've got my hands in, my fingers interlinked and just behind the head. And I'm relaxing, giving my weight into the blanket. So in a moment, we'll start the who breath. So when you're ready. So we have this carefully. So coming to one side is a bit easier, and lying down your back. We use an unfolded blanket to support the head. And I'm just going to see how things are now, just with the restful breath. During this kind of final check-in, final breath experience, it can be useful to just support the body to relax by just kind of instructing your body to soften a little bit. So just giving it, allowing it to soften a little bit more. So I usually go for the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the lips, back of the tongue. The armpits, palms of the hands, chest, belly, your bum, your inner thighs, and the soles of your feet. And just without changing it, just noticing what's going on in the breath here. Soft, quiet, minimal breathing. So the breath can deepen further. So one more breath in. Gently just move the fingers and the toes. Easy to the chest. Just rock from side to side. And circles one way and then the other way. And roll over. Okay, so that can all be done within about 15 minutes. Can extend it for sure, but that can be done in 15 minutes. what I noticed, you might notice that broadly speaking, when we're doing the WHO breaths, we will probably get into the 5 to 6 seconds for the out breath and the in breath. The out breath was probably a little bit longer than the in breath, which is good for calming the system down. So this kind of practice can be done when you get up, before you kind of start to get a little bit more active. It's also a good one, maybe even a better one to do before you go to bed. You may fall asleep on the floor, that's the only danger. So yeah, that's just an option to really focus on expanding the breath, and to doing that when we're not when we're not exercising, putting a lot of effort into creating that. We're creating calm while we're allowing the body to restore more, then to heal more, and to calm the nervous system down, so that all the activity of the body can kind of just settle and do what it needs to do. And we can build our lung capacity. Win, 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 win. Okay, so that's the first one of maybe up to 3 kind of short bonus classes for you to keep. Okay, enjoy. If you've got questions, if you're unsure, you know where I am. All right, take care, and thank you for breathing with me. For now.